Welcome back, everyone. I hope you are enjoying today's episode with Jennifer Shaffer. Hi, Jen.
Hello, Colby.
Are you having fun?
I am. It's so awesome to be here.
And we're going to have so much fun after this, aren't we?
I can't wait.
It's going to be so exciting. In fact, we're going to take pictures and we're going to put them on Instagram. So
yes, we are.
So that everyone can check. Now, I know a little birdie told me of some very, very exciting news about this work that you're doing. Are you allowed to share any little nibbles with us? This could be like exclusive. Oh my goodness! Like, come on, help RebelATIONS have an exclusive with Jennifer Shaffer.
There is. I'll give you an exclusive.
Okay, thank you.
There is. So I help create content, and you and I both have been approached, as well as Cindy, AJ, everybody's been approached with show ideas. And the one that, of course, if there's a way for me to, if there's a way for me to get it into the networks, the way that this works, and make it normal, make it a new normal, then it's going to give validity to working with law enforcement. And it's also going to help the families. And so there was some of my work that was done live. It wasn't work that past cases, which were backlogged right now, but there was, it was a case that we took on that they filmed.
Right.
And, when you give somebody evidence the first time that is later backed up elsewhere, it's shocking for people to watch on television. Yeah. And when I went to the networks, I was with this incredible production company, and we were pitching the show. They were just, when they watched the clip, their mouth would just drop. They just, because it's so, it's a lot of stuff that it's almost, it's like CSI. It's Criminal Minds. That's basically what it is with a twist.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to make it scary or anything, but anyway, yeah. So right now that's going on, but I also have a couple of other, there's another production company that's going to do the lighter work. Okay. Because there's a lot of stuff that we all do that's so much fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, right?
Mm-hmm. Some of my best times have been around a dinner table, getting ratings, drinking wine.
Yeah, absolutely.
With friends. And that's another thing that grounds, I think, you and I, is by being able to spend time with our friends. Yeah. So we don't get stuck in our head.
I always call it spirit and spirits.
I love that. I always say, you bring the spirits, I'll bring the vino.
Now, the thing too is, you know me personally, I love this idea of making this all a little more real. So
yes. Oh my gosh.
Been a huge advocate of it.
My pragmatic medium friend.
So it's great though, because I agree. I feel like this is the movement of the future. Is to show everybody. Listen, we've all got this. It's not some sort of mystery. You know, we all can kind of dive in, and if we start making it in a more bite-sized, easy to understand, realistic way, so many more people are gonna join in,
Well, everybody understands the crime aspect. It wasn't something that I chose, it was just something that kept on following me. Yeah. And every time I quit, because there was times I'm like, I can't. It's affecting me personally too much. Right. And the spillover to my family, I get information that happened 2 years ago that they want to tell me now that just came in. Yeah. That 2 years ago I gave. And so it kept after me. But it also made me confident in the work that I do regularly. Yeah. Not most people go into that work first and then go the other way. Yeah. But it helped me make it normal. And if it helped me make it normal, then I certainly think it's going to help somebody else.
Well, and that just shows you, spirit. You do not get to decide how you're gonna. They're gonna decide. They're gonna say, "Girl, this is how you're gonna do it," and you go, "Okay."
Right. You just go. Otherwise, you go kicking and screaming, and your life becomes hell.
But I'll tell you, when we stop fighting and we surrender and we really understand and let go. Yeah. The work is so gratifying, isn't it? Don't you find? I mean, even if it's hard, there's still because at the end of the day, even if that puzzle isn't quite solved in that time, just the fact that the parents know they have a listening ear, they know someone is there caring For, you know, I feel like that actually gives some healing also.
The healing is the part that I want to be conveyed over TV.
Yeah.
A lot of people need it to have a beginning, you know, an end, and everything else in between. And there is no, one of the biggest things I tell parents, you are never going to get over this. You will fucking never, ever get over this.
Right.
But I will help you look at it differently.
Right, right.
I will help you coexist with this tragedy.
Yeah, yeah.
Or with what, you know, because that's the one thing that I've come to learn, that not everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, right.
And I get so angry when someone says that. I know it deals with other... 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I probably would have said that.
Yeah.
There's no way I would ever say that.
Right.
I'm trying not to swear.
Yeah.
I always swear when my kids are around.
Well, you're passionate.
I know. I'm dealing with
I'm telling you, you're an inner Italian.
Gotta be. Gotta be.
So, you know, aside from the intuitive investigative work, you know, you do other work. So talk about some of the other, you know, I know you do volunteer work as well. So what other areas do you work?
So all of the investigations are pro bono work.
Okay.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
There are families, because there's such a backlog, that paid to come see me.
And but don't you also work with trafficking and helping in that area as well? And you do that pro bono as well,
yes, all of it.
Well, all of goodness.
I mean, it pays for itself.
Yeah, it does.
All my pro bono work has put me on TV.
Yeah.
Every single ounce of it becomes spiritual gold.
Yeah.
And you find a balance. So you know, maybe in one day I'll have, I've told you my client list, you know, over the day, just how many, not who it is.
Yes.
We don't talk about that. But, you know, 20% of it I give to the clients. That's just the way I give it back.
Yep.
And then you know, everybody has people that they know, and everybody wants someone to make it normal, like we've talked about.
Yeah.
And we tend to do that.
Yeah.
You know, we're not trying to make it out there.
Right. Yeah, and it is, and it's just about being a messenger and a facilitator and a counselor.
Yes.
all in one, right?
Absolutely.
All in one. And how do your kids deal? Do they know about this side of the work?
They do.
Okay.
They do.
And how because sometimes, you know, I would imagine that, you know, you come home a little more emotional or a little more temperamental, and how do they kind of immediately know? Are they intuitive? Do they get it, or how does that work?
Well, I've had to learn how to not think about them when I'm working on cases. And the reason why, and I'll give an example, my daughter, somebody called me, and my daughter was sleeping upstairs, and they told me they had a kid that was wanting to commit suicide. Ooh. And so, again, they're like, what do we do? Do we call the police, or do you want to talk to this person? I talked to this person. I thought of my own daughter during this process. I said, if you commit suicide, I'm like, you will never, ever, I will never talk to you in spirit. I basically scared them out of it. Okay. I said, you're going to have to figure out how to make your mom happy again. Aww. You are going to have to do this. You want to be here while you do that. This is a blip on the screen, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I go upstairs to kiss my daughter goodnight, and she's crying. I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, why is my life not worth anything?
Aww.
And that's exactly what the kid said that I was talking out of suicide. That child was saying, my life's not worth anything. Because I thought of my daughter, I brought her into the conversation. So not only do you do this work, but you have to make sure that I have to make sure that I'm blocking my kids.
Yeah.
So back to your original question, how do they handle it, or how do I handle it? I actually tell them sometimes when I feel like they're sad or they picked up on it.
Yeah.
I tell them what happened, and right away they let it go.
Okay.
It's not theirs anymore.
I think it's I think it's so much easier when we take the elephant out of the room. You know what I'm saying? Like when we can just sit there and, you know, especially I feel like children tend to be so intuitive, you know? And if we can just say, you know, otherwise, especially parents, you know, whether it's even two parents arguing or having relationship issues, and they want to try to protect the child tends to kind of take it on as their own, or they don't know. Right. So I feel like, if we can just, like you said, you just put it right out there,
and then it's gone.
And then they can release it.
I'm like, you're feeling this, I'm like, let me tell you what happened today. You don't have to tell them the gruesome
they don't, right.
But I'm like, listen, this person was killed. She was your age.
Oh.
And it really affected me. And I thought about you. But, the parents, everything's, I'm helping them and blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I see my daughter get lighter and lighter.
Oh. Yeah. And I think it builds that trust that they have with you because you're willing to share with them and open up and be honest with them.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to help when they're like older. You'll see.
Well, I'm sending Jack to camp. I'm sending Jack to Camp Colby.
Oh, right. We talked about that. Oh, poor Jack.
Oh my gosh, that kid. He's like 80 years old.
Oh, I swear. Yeah. Well, this is really great. I feel like, and it is. I think so many parents can even relate to this and understand. And, so many parents are protective of their children. So we are about to go to break. So JenniferShaffer.com. If any of you are out there looking for a private session or want to learn more about Jennifer or really just kind of want to check out what she looks like, I would. Jennifer Shaffer, I mean, honestly, I'm not kidding you guys. I know. It's as a woman, I should have, but beauty is beauty. So, and you're just as beautiful on the outside as you are on the inside, and the love and the healing, and you exude and you give to people. Just being in your presence is a gift within itself. So I know I'm lucky, and I know your friends are lucky. I know your husband's lucky. Your kids are lucky. Actually, those are really beautiful kids too.
I feel like I run with them.
They are just there. I mean, you're all like an Abercrombie and Fitch catalog commercial. So right after this break, we will continue with Jennifer Shaffer here on Best of the Best, Shay Parker's Best of the Best on Times Radio, and really appreciate everyone listening here. And be sure to follow Jen on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. You can follow her everywhere. She's pretty good at updating things, and she's really great at sharing her life. She's very, very open, which I love. I think it just shows how honest
it just helps.
Makes it a part of it. So I'm so looking forward to the last segment after the break where we get to kind of share a little bit more of what's happening and going on coming up.
I like it.
Yes. So thank you so much. And I gotta get some juicy stuff out of you. Let me think of what juicy stuff. I know, but I know there's some little crumbs in there that everyone would just love to follow.
There's a freaking bread loaf.
Oh, well, we'll just talk about. We won't go too deep. We'll make sure it's pretty G-rated for goodness sakes. Yes, but JenniferShaffer.com.